Good morning. Welcome to Brisbane and the Christel Crawford show. John is in the background, futzing around. He says hello, gives you all his hugs. No, really. If you were here, he would hug you. Hi, Katarina. So, this week's show is Undefined. I was all day, and I'm looking down at my computer because one of the things I'm going to do is pull up. Hi, Reshma. Hi, Eleanor. So listen, all of you guys that are live with me today, this is the show where you can ask me anything. Any question that you have about your life, about your thing that's going on, whatever. It's nice to see you too. I wish I could actually see you. Anything. Hi. So take advantage of me. I encourage you to take advantage of me. And while you're doing that, I'm going to pull up a list of questions that I have in the Reinventinators. If you guys aren't in my free Facebook group, the Reinventinators, it's pretty awesome. And, you know, I'm in a lot of Facebook groups, so, you know, I'm not super always excited to jump into new Facebook groups, but ours is pretty awesome. I gave out a bunch of free tools yesterday. I'm going to give free, it's like a free stuff group. Hi, Torgan. So, hi, Claire. Okay, so I'm pulling up this this list of things in the Reinventinators because people had a lot of good topics in here too. So, the first thing I want to say about being undefined is that if you guys do access consciousness classes of any sort, you are going to have these times, and every single person that I've ever talked to in access who's done a class has these times where they just, I can't put the link in there at the moment, Reshma. Go look, Reinventinators. Thank you for asking though. So, blah, 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 blah. There's always going to be these times where you've changed so much you just don't know who you are. Hi, Chels. And I think that I want to start out this Undefined episode by giving you a few tips on what to do when you are wildly undefined. And the very first thing, and this actually could apply to your whole life, is do not make yourself wrong for that. Don't go into feeling fucked up, because you're not fucked up. You are just different. And so, for the past 48 hours, John and I have been running a clearing loop on comfortable distance. Now, if you guys haven't heard about this new thing in Access called comfortable distance, well, first of all, it's not a new thing. We've been doing it for billions of years. But it's sort of a new discovery of something that Dane was doing a lot of, Gary was doing a lot of, and so they realized that they weren't the only ones. And like they do, when they discover something like that, they created this whole clearing around it. So I created a loop, and thank you so much, Helen. Oh, I'm so glad I'm surrounded by brilliant people. Yeah, if you guys want to join the group, Helen just posted the link. The Reinventinators, it's my free group. And I like your question, Eleanor, thank you. Where's that going? Yes, undefined, comfortable distance. So we've been running this loop for 48 hours, and so basically I've been waking up in the morning not knowing who I am. So basically I'm destroying and uncreating every single bit of comfortable distance between me and my awareness, me and my body, me and my business, me and the world, me and Dane, me and Gary, me and John, etc., etc., etc. It's a 30-minute clearing loop. That's a lot. And so we've just been running that all the time. So I've been waking up in the morning literally not knowing who I am. My language isn't working the same. I can't speak the same. It's just different. And so the very first thing that you need to do when you wake up and you're just totally different, which by the way you are every day, but sometimes it's exacerbated and you're I'm so different. I don't know if this is the left foot or the right foot. I'm not even sure if I know how to say left or right. You just start to go, okay, well, who am I today? And what grand and glorious adventures can I have? And see what's actually possible for you in this new space that you're creating for yourself. So that's what you do when you're undefined. Hi, Shayna. And then you just start choosing stuff. So, I mean, a lot of the questions in my group, I actually, what I do in my group is I'll put a post out, and I'll either ask you for your insight, or I'll give you a chance to ask your question and get some tools. And a lot of the questions that were asked on this thread where I was giving out tools and questions had to do with I feel stuck. I don't know what to choose. You know, I'm in this, basically in this transition place, and don't know what to choose. And that occurs for me a lot, you guys, just so you know. Like, I sort of jump on here every week looking like I know what I'm doing, and, you know, you put a topic in front of me and I can probably riff on it for 30 minutes, which, how does it get better than that? But there's lots and lots and lots of other days in my life where I wake up and I'm like, I wonder what I'm going to choose today. I wonder what my business looks like today. I wonder if I'm even going to do my business today, or if there's something else. And the thing that's been going on for me lately is, with some of the choices that I've been making, it's really rearranged my life. And so I really am wondering, like, what does it be like to full on lead my life? To really lead my life, because there's been places in my life lately where, you know, being a part of something else that has a leader, like you're like sort of leading your life in that other organization, but they're doing the leading of the organization, so there's still sort of somewhere where you can sit back and go, well, you know, they're doing it. It's like when you have a job, right? You know, I knew when I waited tables that I would wear black. Thanks, Sandra. I could wear black, I could show up, I could have a pouch full of pens and cash, a good attitude, and I could make some money that night. So there was still some structure in that, right? Like, I had a schedule, I knew what time to show up, there was, like, you know, not a lot of guessing. But when you quit the things that have any structure, and now you're in your life and your business, all of which has no structure, that's when you're really confronted with, like, okay, so what do I want my life to look like? I mean, I sort of know what I want my business to look like, ish, until it's a new day, and then I don't. But what do I want my life to look like? What was it about these other things or these other people that I really liked that I can add to my life? And where do I start with creating that? And there's no map. So you just have to sort of start. And, you know, like, if I want to add more people to my life, then first of all, I got to start asking for that. So that's the first thing, is what would it take to have more of these kind of people? You get an energy of some people that you like being around, and be like, okay, what would it take to have more of that? And then I'm going to start choosing. So I may start by, like, you know, going to some meetup groups, or I may start by going dancing, or I may start by getting around people. It's weird. And also just let my body tell me where to go. Because once you ask a question and you're being that energy, then your body can actually give you information. So it's like, okay, body, is there anywhere we can go or be to run into these people with ease? Is a great question. And then you, like, just sort of wander around your day. I mean, do your day. You can do what you're doing. And your body is actually going to pull you in directions. It's really, really crazy how that works. But I've had so many times where, you know, I'll be asking a question. I'll be like, okay, body, show me where to go. And it will tell me to turn left, or tell me to turn right, or it will have me do this thing that seems like I'm doing one thing when it's actually another thing that ran me into this other thing. And, like, that's where you get to be directed by the universe and not have to have your brain. And I think one of the things that goes on when tacos, oh yeah, this story, I have to tell you this story. This is how you do it. This is okay, so this is the best story. Okay, where do I start? Okay, so it was just a few weeks ago. Me and some of my new friends, my friends that I knew online, but we were hanging out together for the first time. We were going to dinner, and it was after class, and I was like, body, what do you want to eat? And I'm like, my body was like, tacos, we want tacos. And I'm like, okay, so I started talking to everybody around me, like, do you know a taco place? Do you know a taco place? Do you? Like, when I want something, I'm relentless. And so Sarah Watt told us where this taco place was, and we sort of got a sense of it, and we barely knew the town, but we sort of knew the town, so we went in that general direction, and we couldn't find this place. So we'd gone in two separate cars, so it was me and John, I think, and then Shayna and Tracy, I think. No, Helen. Shit, I'm losing the players. But anyway, Helen, there was 3 cars. Anyway, bottom line was we had all come from different directions. We couldn't find the place. It turned out to be in the other direction than what she said. And we found each other on the street, and we were like, well, should we just go somewhere around here? And I was like, and oh, in the process of trying to find this taco place, we had walked by this line of restaurants, and there was this smell coming out of one of the places, and I was just, every time we walked by it, I was like, oh my God, I don't know what they're cooking, but I love it. Like, I want to go in there. But I got it in my mind that I wanted tacos. So anyway, so we meet up on the street. I'm like, we don't know where this place is. And meanwhile, this smell is like wafting into my face. And I'm like, oh my God, wait. So do we just go somewhere else? You know, like we should just go somewhere else and let's go find a taco place. And so we're like, you know, verbally going through all of this like hoo-ha over trying to find a taco place. Meanwhile, I'm enjoying the smell. And Helen just looked at me and she's like, well, do you want to just listen to your body and go where it wants to go? And I just looked at her and I'm like, I want tacos. So I realized that I snapped Helen's head off in a second, and which was fine. She was fine. And we started walking towards where we didn't know where. And finally, I just looked at Helen, you know, and I was like, yes, you know what? You're smart. We'll just listen to my body. So we walk into this place where the smell is like intoxicating me. And it turns out to be a taco place. It was a taco place. The smell that I was ignoring, that I was practically masturbating in the street to, that I was not going to go to, was a taco place. And my body was giving me all the information that I needed. I didn't need a fucking app. I didn't need directions to another taco place. We didn't need to Google it. All they had was tacos. And so literally, if I had been willing to just listen to my body, and so if I got enough information to drive to that part of the city, and then we ended up at a taco place. That's all they had. So that's just to illustrate that your body actually knows way more than you know, and it's going to give you way more fun clues than your brain is. And mojitos and tacos and margaritas, that's like all they had there. It was the funniest, funnest example of being led by your body to exactly what you want that I've ever seen. So, I think that might be the end of that story, but undefined. Okay, a couple of you had questions. If anybody else has questions, go ahead and put them in the thread, because today is question day, undefined. So Eleanor asked, what would it take to have a higher energy for being and doing more stuff? Yes. Yes, 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 yes. So, if you guys are dealing with a lot of tired, I'm trying to think. Gary and Dane were talking about this in class. If you're tired a lot of the time, the first thing you really want to ask for, if you're dealing with a lot of fatigue or a lot of tiredness, you really, really, really have to ask, who does it belong to? Is the first thing. Because, you know, you're as psychic with fatigue as you are with everything else. Funny story, yesterday, so today is 5:30 in the morning here in Brisbane, and we fly to Vancouver in like 6 hours. And so, but yesterday we were driving from Noosa to Brisbane, and I always do when we're driving in the car, John's driving, I'm in the passenger seat, I passed out and I was sleeping. And so I was on and off sleeping through this two-hour drive, and we finally get to Brisbane, and I wake up, and I just feel like, I feel jet lagged. Listen, we haven't even gotten on the jet. And I got out of the car and I was like, oh, I feel like we've been traveling for 13 hours. And I asked my body, I'm like, body, are you pre-jet lagging? Are you already aware of what we're gonna be or what we might be? Are you but my body was already doing something in the future that it hadn't even done yet. So I had to pock and pod that and just get over it and go to dinner. So I went into my room actually first before I pock and podded it, and I laid down and I'm like, do I need a nap? And my body was like, no, get up and work. So it's just funny how psychic you are. And the other thing that you want to look at with tired is what do you can ask yourself, is there anything you're tired of? So what are you tired of? Because many, 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 many times when you're tired a lot, you're tired of stuff that you're not acknowledging. And then there's a clearing, and if I think of it, I'll put it in the comments after. Okay. Reshma, what if I know that I don't have the courage to do something that may be a contribution? I've been judging myself and trying to define what my 2018 would like to be. Oh yes, I need to do a whole Facebook Live on this whole resolution shit. This is crazy. What if I know I don't have the courage to do something that may be a contribution? Well, I would ask first of all, Reshma, and to any of you, what is it that you know you don't have the courage? Or is it that you've decided you don't have the courage? Or is it that you've decided that you have to be something that you're not to do this thing? Because listen, y'all, you got to start looking at your life and start acknowledging. I mean, you don't have to do anything, but what I would do is start looking at your life and acknowledging the courage you do have. Almost everybody I know that does this stuff, uses these tools, has more courage than almost anybody else I've ever met on the planet. And when you tell yourself the story that you don't have it, that's when you disempower yourself. Like, it doesn't even require anybody else to disempower you. You've just done it yourself. So I would just start wondering if it's actually true that you don't have the courage, or if it's something else. And if it's something else, then, you know, what is that and what can you choose? And then you said, I have been judging myself and trying to define what my 2018 would like to be. Yeah, honey, like, you're an infinite being. Like, you live in 10-second increments. So this whole thing about, you know, it's a new year, we want to, like, everybody I know is probably going to start, like, new diets and new workout plans and new referendums for what they're going to do with their business this year. And then by day 3, it's going to be over. But you may want to look at, like, setting yourself up for being disappointed in you. Like, anytime you create a projection and an expectation of yourself, which is what resolutions are, you're creating these projections and your expectations of yourself. You are setting yourself up for separating from yourself, judging yourself, and rejecting yourself. So now, I'm not saying don't get a sense of the energy that you'd like to have in 2018, because I've been doing that since 2016. I get it. You want to get the energy of what you want your life and your business and all that stuff to be like. Get that energy. Like, how vibrant is it? Like, how full is it? What does it include? All the energies. And then you want to just keep living in every 10 seconds, right? You want to just keep choosing. And what 3 things can I take action on today that'll actualize this energy right away? And what are some of the facets of the energy? And what can I take, you know, all those things. Instead of setting yourself up to reject yourself, because that's what a lot, I'd say, almost all of resolutions are, is this setup to reject ourselves. I just got coffee delivery. Yay. So I hope that's helpful with the resolution thing. I get way too comfy in bed watching Netflix. Okay, cool. So one of the other things that you can start to acknowledge maybe is I have these areas in my life where I'm just lazy. And I don't mean it as a judgment. I just mean it as, like, I'm just lazy. Like, so I was having this conversation with John last night over pizza. And there's someone at our door. We got coffee delivery at our door. Don't go anywhere. These guys are so cute. I'm sorry, but the Australian accent is one of my favorite in the whole world. Okay, so we were at dinner last night, and John has done lots and lots and lots of really, really cool stuff with his body. So he's been a speed skater, and I think he was almost Olympic level speed skating. I don't know, John, I may be fucking this up. He says no, but you should see his legs. Anyway, he hung out with a lot of Olympians. So he's just done, like, he's been really, really physically active for a really long time. So his legs are like, they're like the statue of David, only better. But his body is also really athletic. So we were talking last night about body stuff, because we're about to launch another version of the Change With Your Body program that I did, and it's so much better, and it's so much more comprehensive, and I'm so excited. But we were talking about creating with your body, right? Like, where, and what the body's actually capable of, and when you actually lift strong and heavy things, like what that does with your muscles and things like that. And I was realizing as he was talking that a lot of this information I've had, and I know, but when it comes to, like, lifting stuff with my body, I'm kind of lazy. Like, I just don't want to do it. I don't even have a reason. I could make up a reason. Like, it hurts when I lift heavy, and I've done it before, but like, in the last little bit, I'm like lazy, and I don't feel bad about it. I just know that it's true, and I'm just not choosing things right now. And I think that's one of the other things you have to start to acknowledge with some of this stuff. It's just like, I'm just being lazy, and it's okay. I'm just going to keep being lazy until I'm not anymore. And why that works is because it's allowance for you. What doesn't work is doing the thing while judging yourself for the thing, while still doing the thing, while judging yourself for the thing that you're doing the thing, and then trying to figure out why you're doing the thing, and then judging yourself for figuring out why. That shit doesn't work. That doesn't actually change anything. That just makes you feel bad. And it sticks it in place because you're judging the thing that you're doing that you're judging. So it's stuck. So now you're double fucked. So that's the part that doesn't work. So you may want to just stop doing that. Put that over there. Go give it to Jesus. And then come back over here and go, I'm being lazy and I'm having a great time. And what other choices can I make? Yes, it's like I do it all in my head first. Yeah, oh yeah. And that's another thing. Like, when you are an epic creator, everybody I know is an obsessive compulsive creator. And when you aren't obsessively compulsively creating, you create crap. And so, but you also typically finish all of your creation in your head. And so then you're done with it and you're bored. And now you don't want to actualize it because actualizing it takes too much time. I actually have said that to people before. I'm like, I have written 18 books in my head. Yes, Helen, 18 books in my head. Because I got the idea and then I wrote the whole thing and then I finished it and it was so good. And then I went to write it down and it took so long to get it down on paper that I just stopped after the introduction. So, first of all, you have to, there's a theme here. You have to know that you do that shit. You have to know that you do that shit. You also have to start to go, okay, don't create it in your head. Get the idea. Since you know that you do that shit, stop it. See, so much of this is just a stop it thing. And get the idea and start writing it. Because then as the idea is coming, it's like coming out of your head onto the thing. So you have to like know yourself, know thyself. That's the subtitle of this. And start doing whatever you have to do to get the idea out of your head into actualization, because otherwise you're going to be in your head all the time, which is fun. I like being in my head a lot, but it doesn't end up instituting or actualizing very many things. I don't know if you've noticed. You're welcome. Lori, I've been looking at what I actually desire. This is a big thing up for a lot of people, Lori. You're not the only one. I'm so aware of others' desires and their desires for me. What questions can I ask to get clear for me? Well, I mean, this is a multifaceted thing because there's, one of the facets is when you're around other people, then you're more likely to be aware of their universe than when you're just by yourself. So when you're around other people, to get clear on what you desire is like, well, what's my reality here? And here's two things I've been using a lot. What's my reality here? And if I could fire all these people and all these choices, what would I choose? That helps me a lot. Like, if all of these people were out of the restaurant, what would I want to eat? Is a great question. If I could fire all these people around me right now, what would I desire? Has been something that's been helping me tons, because whatever that does energetically, it gets them out of my energetic picture, and then I get more clarity on what it is that I desire. And that might be the tip. Everything else, like when you look at getting the energy of your future and actualizing your future, you don't have anything about that cognitively. Nobody does, because the future is just whispers of possibilities. So a lot of people sort of sit around and wait until they get a sign, like till Jesus comes down and goes, do this, and you're like, no, I don't want to do that, I want to do this. Here's the thing about another thing about us is that as soon as somebody tells us to do something, then we know we don't want to do that, but we want to do this. So there's a couple facets here. It's in that you actually do know what you desire, but you have to start choosing things to go, oh wait, it's not that, it's this. Because sometimes we need something to resist to know what we'd actually like to choose. So one of the other things in this whole topic is to stop telling yourself that you don't know. And I'm not saying you did, Lori, but I know a lot of people do. I don't know. You do know, and you don't have any cognition of it, but you have a sense of it. And that's how you got yourself here, and that's how you're going to get yourself to the next future that you're creating. And so that's what you want to start getting, is that you do know, but you have to start empowering yourself with what you know, because nobody else can do that for you. You're the only one that can go, okay, I do know. If I did know, what would I choose? And if all these other people were gone and I could fire all of them, what would I know? What would I choose? And then there was a third thing that I don't know if I can remember. Yeah, so if it comes back to me. So hopefully that helps with getting clear on what you desire. Tired of things I haven't acknowledged. Yeah. Double. I love you guys. Hi. Time to share the stop it clip. Yep. I just popped in late, but not too late to acknowledge that that's why I don't get anything actualized. Inventing is fun, doing is boring. Okay. Inventing is fun, doing is boring. This is where you actually have to get really aggressive with everything is just an interesting point of view, including that statement right there. Inventing is fun and doing is boring. So, okay, so does everybody on this Facebook Live, has everybody read the 10 Keys to Total Freedom or listened to the telecall, the 10 Keys to Total Freedom? I am going to be doing a 30 days on that book very soon, maybe even at the first of the year. And I think Ann Maxwell's doing a thing too. You guys, if you haven't gotten that book and studied it, go leave this Facebook Live after I'm done here in 4 minutes and go buy that book. Or come do it with me. I don't care, whatever you do. But so, in everything is just an interesting point of view is a freaking huge, massive gift to your life. And what do I mean by that? And here's how you use that. What do I mean by that? And here's how you use it. Every single thing that comes out of your mouth, first of all, your point of view creates your reality. So when you have the point of view that inventing is fun and doing is boring, then it is. That's it. That's how deep that is. If you're willing to change it, then you can. That's all. So what interesting point of view I have this point of view does is it's like inventing is fun, doing is boring. And that's when you catch yourself going, oh, that's a really interesting point of view. I wonder if doing is fun and I just haven't discovered it yet. What would it take to discover the fun of doing? Immediately, that inserts curiosity into your world and something can start to change there. But that is a really popular point of view of like the creation part is fun, the doing is boring. That's part number one. Part number two is like, I know that I like creating a lot of money, but I don't really like bookkeeping it. So it's not really my favorite part. So I pay for somebody else to do the bookkeeping part. So then I get to create the money to pay for that person. Because that's the part that's fun for me. So the second part that's fun is that there is some doing that isn't that fun for you. Like I would rather not clean my house. I'd rather pay somebody else to do it. But if I were going to clean my house, I would clean my house in the funnest way possible, and I would have to have headphones in and be drinking wine. So, yeah, anyway, so you gotta use interesting point of view on yourself. And Judy, I don't know where your question related to. Sorry, honey. All right, cool. Comfortable distance. Yeah, okay. So I think I'm going to wrap up today. Thank you for being live with me. I'm so grateful. If this was fun and contributed to you, share it with the world so that they can find me. And how does it get better than today? I will see you next week. And next week I will be in Vancouver land, in the dark and stormy wilds of Vancouver. And otherwise I will see you guys later on in the week. Bye for now.